Hi everyone, welcome to the SmallSmall Podcast. My name is Jesudara Oyedele and I'm the Digital Content Manager at SmallSmall. However, I'm not the CEO. I have my co-host with me here today, the CEO of SmallSmall. So, sir, introduce yourself.
You said Jesudara. Tunde Balogun is my name. I'm the co-founder and CEO at SmallSmall.
That's great. He's how he's always just so plain with his. If I said I should do it now, I'll probably sleep here. So that's very great. We have a very distinguished guest with us today. He's the CEO of Conclase Academy. And I'm just going to hear from the leader's mouth himself. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you for having me here. So I'm Adeposi Bamiduro. I'm the founder and CEO at Conclase, and it's nice to be here.
Okay, so I know people are already wondering the podcast again because Nigerians, Africans, we're getting notoriously famous for our podcast sessions and all of that. How do you feel to be on a podcast? Is it your first time on a podcast set?
Yeah, this is actually my first time.
So how do you feel?
I feel calm. I
Are
think,
you sure?
Yes.
It's about to get heated.
No problem.
Okay, no problem. So again, would love to quickly hear from you as to what Conclase is about. But before we get to you, seeing as this is SmallSmall Podcast, let's hear from the CEO of SmallSmall, basically about what SmallSmall is. Very quickly, sir, what SmallSmall represents, and we'll just relate it.
So SmallSmall is we are a property technology company. We started with Rent SmallSmall, which a lot of people know, and then we have Buy SmallSmall now. So those are products of SmallSmall. SmallSmall is the parent brand, but beyond being a property technology company, we've identified, or we now see ourselves almost like a gatekeeper to the whole idea of SmallSmall instrumental payments in Nigeria, because we realize that in a lot of other climes around the world, one of the way the economy evolves or be able to make advancement is through credit system. We don't have credit system in Nigeria. Our credit system is still evolving. So one way we can bridge that before we get to a very stable credit, or before we have a stable credit system, is installment payment, where people can access anything they need by paying small, and we have done it for almost 6 years now, or a little over 6 years, by collecting rent monthly, and then also by allowing people to buy homes and pay in installment. And we just believe that if we could spread this gospel or if we could have more discussion around the installment payment, before we know it, people can access this across all the areas of their lives, and it will also lead to their advancement in life, be it economically, be it socially, whatever it is. So that is really why we are doing this. Yeah.
Yes, basically, and I'm very sure we'll be relating to our CEO here at Conclase, and our audience would basically understand why we are getting there, why we have this small podcast. So now back to you. What is Conclase Academy?
I'll first start with Conclase, then I'll delve into Conclase Academy. So Conclase is, like a group. We do tech recruiting, we do what we call build out source studio model, and we do tech trainings.
Yeah, smiling.
So
love it.
yeah, so Conclase Academy is the tech training arm of Conclase.
That's great. It's just these simple things, So, basically, we're going to be talking about the instrumental aspect of Conclase, because I know you're yet to dive into that, even though that's like a very, very big feature, because quite a number of people will be doing things. But then what is setting people like us, SmallSmall, and obviously Conclase apart from every other person is that instrumental structure, payment structure for people to be able to access your services. So, why Conclase and why the instrumental payment industry?
Yeah, okay. So I will just talk more on Conclase Academy, because that's where we offer I'll call it learn now, pay later, or study now, pay later.
I love that.
Yeah. So the idea behind it is, for us, is more of trying to see ways that we can impact Africans. We can empower Africans. We saw a need for people to get into the tech space. We saw a need to provide opportunities. We saw a need to empower people. And because our core is in tech recruiting, we see that yes, we have that gap. We have that resource talent gap, that brain drain that is really, really affecting the economy, both in Nigeria and also Africa as a whole. So we took it upon ourselves to institute Conclase Academy, where we've lowered the barrier into entry to tech, see the best ways we can get people into tech and provide that career sustainable path for them, right? So one of the challenges that we witness is affordability of the tech courses. And we now looked deeper on how best can we help people to get into tech. Is about making it affordable. Making it affordable is not like making them just pay at once, seeing ways that they can be able to spread payments. So like my boss said installmental payment. So we made it so low that, what do you have? Just come pay, you can structure your payments, in maybe six times, 3 times, 2 times. Made it very flexible. So that things that we probably had, a proper terms of service, like contracts or agreements with them before starting the program. And so far it has been successful. We've had them very high rates of, in terms of very low rate of default, low to none actually, in terms of people making payments to the end of the program and all that. And maybe because of our strategy, I don't know, but I think that we are very, intentional about our approach, are very disciplined, and our promise is kept. So the promise is we guarantee internship placement. In as much as people want to get into tech, people want to learn new digital skills. The question is, where are they working? So this is something that we've not seen, in a real sense. So we said we should be like the major player, those that can be able to help people get their dream jobs, the right jobs, and giving them that right skills, to get on it. So because of the promise done, people, make it like an habit, to pay when it's due. And after the end of the month, they make their payments, and if there's any little delay, they communicate, and we just make it very flexible for them. And so far, it has been amazing.
Great. I mean, it sounds very great already, and something is brewing in my mind. Even though my CEO is here, I might say it at the end of the podcast or not. So, I would like to understand, or we would like to understand. Of course, like with what you've said, we understand that this is literally like an avenue changing lives. But like, what would you say, like on Conclase's end, is the impact on students, like enrollment, people that really want to get into like the tech industry and space?
Oh yes, in terms of Conclase part, of course, that has helped us to increase our revenue exponentially. We actually started with internships, meaning that we just bring people in, we do some very thorough screening, we get them in, we pay them, to be focused on the program. We actually do 6 months. It was intensive 6 months. So after that 6 months, we place them on jobs. So we did that for a couple of cohorts and realized that we are trying to limit the potentials and the essence behind the academy, trying to get a lot of people into tech. So we made it public, meaning that we launched it, made it full-fledged, where people can come in and all that. So we actually started from the installment plan right from the get-go. We made it public, and people, it helped us to increase our the student intake. Sign-ups actually increased. We started with just pay like twice, and over time we said just pay just once a month, and that actually even kind of tripled the number of sign-ups that we got and those that came into the program. And just recently, we partnered with a fintech company. They are willing to something really different. I will just share it on this podcast. Something like very novel and all that. I have a situation where people don't pay at all; they pay when they get jobs. So we had this very mutual understanding, and we were able to communicate and explain how this can work. And we've actually signed a deal just today. I came for the podcast.
Congratulations.
Yes, thanks. So the way it will work is they will pay after they're done with the trainings, right? And the payment will be done when they get their job.
I'm sure that's as a result of the impact they are seeing.
Exactly.
Because if they had not seen, the path that you've created for these guys to pay flexibly, which has helped your own scale as well.
Exactly.
Then you won't have. And I believe that this is very critical to our advancement as a nation.
Yes.
I love the term "learn now, pay later," and I think one thing that we can do, this is education. You can call it vocational education or whatever type of education, but without education, that we will be limited in so many things.
Right.
You see a lot of advanced countries. There's always one form of education that they've provided for people. For you, either you can do vocational education or take vocational education, and that can allow you set up stuff for yourself, or be hands-on with whatever any opportunity that come, and allow you earn income and contribute to the society by paying tax,
Exactly.
being responsible to your family or taking care of your family, but we are focused more on like institutional education in Nigeria, whereby either you go to university and all of that. So this advent of us having tech schools, and all of that, I think is a very noble one. And that instrumental thing I think one of the things we will see is that, especially for the education sector, where you are playing, is that the success rates can now spill into universities and all these other places.
Exactly.
Because when you look at countries like UK, US, they provide student loan. Thankfully, one of the first thing our new president mentioned when he came on board was also providing student loan, which allows you go into university, get a loan to pay, and then you'll be paying it after you graduate. Pay it once you get a job.
Exactly.
And your
It's
salary
very
and start
similar
paying.
to
It's all about
I
the
said.
flexible means.
Exactly.
And it's very impactful to any society. It has worked in a lot of climes, and I don't see any reason why it won't work here.
Exactly. Well, just as you said, so I don't know, it's quite new here. I'm not sure if there's any regulation, which we are hoping that the government can look into this. But of course, it will help to create that credit systemic economy. This is something that is very, very critical. And why digital scale is a bit different is there's the result is quick. The opportunity is very near. Of course, universities take a process. You have to use 4 years or 5 years. But this is because of the where we play, it's something that is easier for us to get them that job. Right, so these are things that this is the confidence that our current fintech partner has in us. Now, look, I think at least we should be able to this will be a very beneficial relationship. So for us, I know there's the risk aspect. We probably will discuss later, but the point is we have some high level assurance that we'll actually be the ones to get them those jobs, but there are ways that we've kind of mapped it out. We have a couple of partnerships. We're hoping to partner with SmallSmall too as well. So it's a collaborative effort. We're trying to see ways that we can really to get a lot of people into their tech dreams. Then also, aside from even those that want to go into the job line, we're also looking into entrepreneurship. So we do our stuff in a way that there are two sets of categories of people: those going into the job path and those going into the entrepreneurship path. A lot of people, they want to have their own, they want to own something like SmallSmall. They want to own the next Paystack. They want to own the next, Stripe and the like. So how do we help them? Some of them want to learn these digital skills so they can be able to understand, those back-end things, the programming things, and which makes sense. So before you even get into our program, we do some kind of assessment on you. We need to why are you in this? What do you need this for? So we'll be able to identify that we'll have, if not over 30% of people that want to actually own their own thing. They want to grow that part, and we've also seen ways that we can be able to channel them towards that part too as well. So we're not just stopping at just training them, also helping them to get into, their dreams.
That's great. That's very good. I was actually even going to come to the aspect of, some people might come for me for this, but I was going to come into the aspect of how, the difference or the gap range, so to speak, in regards to usually would have more men at the inception of tech, would have more men into, but would you say the numbers are steadily increasing on the aspect of the women with the invention and presence of Conclase?
Women supporting women. Yeah, so I'm very big when it comes to, we are very big rather when it comes to, gender inclusion. The truth is, there are more men, let me say 80 to 20, so we've been trying to see ways that we can be able to, get the females into, and our current cohort that is running, we've seen more women coming as compared to the previous cohorts. I think maybe because we introduced product management, so that actually we saw a lot of women coming into that, because it seems it's more like a non-tech role sort of, so they feel like maybe it's a bit, when I say easier, I don't know, but we've seen more women coming. Then also, but generally, we've been trying to see ways to encourage women to join, to get into the tech space. And I think women they're extraordinary, so we need more women in the tech space. We are making, efforts, to promote that and ensure that we can see how best we can get more women there, so there can be some kind of balance.
I'll pay later. I think that would also help to kind of bridge that barrier in a way.
Exactly.
Would you agree? It's
100%. We even did some kind of test run, because we don't want to go all out till we kind of close the partnership with this fintech company. But we just did a test run, and we had thousands, that are kind of signaled interest that if you want to do this, they're interested, meaning the model of paying after their course. So people are way more interested, wow.
And quite a number of women as well.
Yes, at this point, they are really, really.
What would you say is the ratio, men to women?
The men is still more, still, but at least this time around we got more let's say 65, 35 thereout, this time. So it was just very amazing. So we're trying to just see, maybe this might be the game changer, what we're trying to achieve in terms of gender inclusion.
Because I really, Dara, you can speak to this as well. I know that not a lot of women have the opportunity to go to higher institution, for so many reasons. In different parts of Nigeria, the expectations that are placed on women quite early on in life compared to men, right? And a lot of them, once those expectations are setting for them, it's almost like, my life is over, or I'm already in either marriage or childbirth or whatever it is, and the opportunity to go back to formal institution, university, and so it. In fact, most of them have to, if they have to work their way back, they'll have to go back to secondary school and finish, earn their SSC or whatever, WAEC or whatever, right? But with the advent of programs like the digital training, digital skills, you can pick up quickly, whether you want to do project management or any of these training, or you want to learn how to code or whatever it is, you can pick up those skills and be able to set yourself up.
We're actually quite in sync, because I was actually also going to ask that, aside from, say, people that would usually go to the university first and then maybe want to change lines of career, and it's coming to Conclase to take advantage of instrumental payments for their trainings and academic courses. I would want to know if Conclase already offers or plans to offer, if not already, an avenue for people that say maybe they only have secondary education. Do you understand? So is there an avenue, a separate avenue? Because I think there's a training timeline and process to usually people that already have an higher education and they are coming to Conclase. But however, for those that don't have that yet, is there something that Conclase is currently doing? So maybe an extra class, maybe English classes.
Is it required? Is it even required? Or everybody comes in, whatever your background is, you can pick it up and learn the skills and go in.
That's a tricky one. Okay, so, for now, we just need you to just not to understand English.
Okay.
For now, that's the requirement.
Understand English, at least have some very very little computer, literate. Computer, very little. Little means that at least you can operate a laptop.
Okay.
Because we don't train on how to navigate laptop. Or we do fundamentals, take you through the fundamentals of IT. But we don't expect you to at least know how to at least touch a laptop, type, those basic things. And what we look at for now is university graduates.
Yeah.
University, those are in the university, and graduates and those that want to switch their careers into tech.
Okay.
So
so we don't do people that don't have SSC or you have to be a university graduate or in university.
Yeah. So for now we are looking at we're trying to consider the maturity level for now, but in the nearest future, part of the plans we have is to go into all that too as well. Because some people why do you in abroad, people don't go to school. Some people don't go to school. They just learn maybe mechanics or they learn maybe some vocational skills like carpentry and all that, and they earn a living. We want a situation where we'll be able to get people to have a skill, a digital skill, and can be able to do things. But just for us to be able to align with our structure for now, but we want you to at least either you're in university or you're about to get into university, you already have that path. So when we are training you, like I said, we're not just training and letting you go. We want to train you and you can be able to get a job. So that's the uniqueness that we're offering. If we're just doing, you're training and go, there's a different case. So we are very intentional about the opportunities. But that's one of those things that can help Nigeria to grow. I'm very, very pan-Nigerian, and pan-African. So how do we help the economy? How do we support the administration? Is about doing our own bit. Our own bit is about providing opportunities. These people can be able to, indirectly start paying tax and all that. How do they do this is what we are offering. So for now, we are more of, let me just say, secondary school graduates about to enter uni. So we take them in. Then university, we're also planning some University Connect, where we'll be able to bring in university students to learn, have a special program for them that won't affect their time, their classes in school.
Do you see a situation where students collect money from their parents in full and then go and use it to buy a PlayStation or something like that, because they know that they can do small with Conclase, right? If the parents are the one paying for it, and then they just pay the initial required small payment and they go and use the money to buy PlayStation 5 or maybe just do something silly, and then when you have the expectation for them to make their installment payments, then they are not making the payment. Do you see situations like that, or if that were to happen, what kind of impact or what kind of story would that tell in a way?
Well, about that, of course we have some of our, I like to call them students, some of our professionals. They are in universities, a couple of them and all that. So what we do is we have a proper agreements in place, proper KYC in place. And one of it is that we do some kind of guarantor check, and most times the parents actually do the guarantor. So if there is
do you also have students that their parents actually pay for, or the program is paid for by their parents?
So what we did was that we didn't make it that mandatory. We expect usually is the students that pay,
okay,
right? we don't know how they get it. But we are very, there are cases that we know that yes, their parents are actually, they support. Even at the point in time we're doing some sort of assessment, because anytime you want to get into the program, do an assessment. This particular guy, very funny, he had to come with his dad and mom, like in the assessment. Or like, oh, it's just you, like, oh, that they said they wanted to know how the assessment would go, like, and we had to assess the three of them, and it was very interesting.
The reason why I asked that question is because we need to get to a place also in this country. It's not everybody that wants to go to university. We need to come to terms with that. And a lot of people or young people will come out of secondary school. They've gotten the basic education already, both primary and secondary school, and they just want some form of training to get some skills, vocational skills, digital skills, whatever, and that will set them up that they can start contributing to the economy, to their family from the get-go, and it doesn't diminish or reduce their capacity in any way. It's not everybody that will go to university. So how do we then? I think the learn now, pay later can also be a good setup for that. That a lot of families that are thinking, oh, I don't have the money to send my child to university, before the government fully implement this their own learn now pay later scheme, with this kind of program, I think it will also allow parents that don't have the funds to send their students or their children to university to think of this as an option. So there are two options I mentioned, right? One is students that don't want to go to young people that don't want to go to university, and not because they are less serious, but just because they want something, I don't know what to call it, but a different path. Yeah, thank you, Dara, a different path. And then the family that can afford university, that's a learn now, pay later allows their young children to immediately acquire skills and be able to immediately contribute to the family. Because I can just imagine a family of 4, where the parents have been struggling, and then their son, who is their eldest child, is able to get digital training, be able to get into the job and start earning, and then able to support the family. What do you make of that?
It's like I mentioned, it's one of the plans that we have. We just like to take things one step at a time.
Small.
Okay, so coincidentally, this fintech partner that we have, one of their key strengths is funding students. Okay. So a way that to make their tuition easy for them, so they can be able to pay instrumentally. You understand? So
I'm sorry, are we talking Conclase now?
No, I'm talking about even the fintech partner. So I'm going to that. So even with this, the platform already has that capacity, that feature that helps to encourage those kind of installment payment for kids or for students, right? Maybe in secondary school trying to go university or this thing. So it's something that we want to do. And like I mentioned, it's one of our future plans. Future plans means it's very near, where we can be able to, because that will be able, that's more, more work to be done, where we can be able to say, look, just come in, we'll give you the basics, get you into tech, we'll be able to give you the basic knowledge, you learn, and you can be able to even start doing things. If you like, you can probably maybe go to.
But why did you say future? Because these are school, secondary school graduates already. Is there from before you had said that there's really no once you're a secondary school graduate, you can come into Conclase, right?
Yes.
That was what you said. Yes. So I don't see any difference. If you're already a secondary school graduate, you don't want to go to university, you might as well come to Conclase, because Conclase has a learn now, pay later. Or if you are from a family where the parents don't have the funds to send you to university, and you don't have the right support system financially to go to university, then you can choose a Conclase to learn digital skills, if that is what you're interested in. So the future part is what I'm trying to, when you say it's a future plan.
So I'll explain why I said the future plan. So when you want to start something, you have to, having a product. I'm sure SmallSmall will have some kind of, what I call it, byproduct, that maybe you have some sub-products, right? So this is actually a market in itself.
Okay.
Of course, we are open to that. Like I mentioned, just come, learn, and we learn. We don't give some sort of like a preferential treatment, even though we know that you are not too you don't really have that much skills. We'll still give you some kind of extra trainings and all that. We do that, but this is open to those that want to get into tech.
Okay.
But why I said nearest future is, for example, next year I want to launch the University Connect, where we'll be able to get universities, university students to get into tech, to learn. This means that there have to be some little changes, a little tweak in terms of, we have to look at the timing, we have to look at how we can be able to maybe even increase the number of months that we're using to train them. You understand? You get me? Likewise, this one, for those that are not going to go into university, there has to be some extra care. There has to be some ways that we'll be able to let them learn properly.
So what you're saying is pretty much just capacity, be able to have enough capacity or prepare to be able to take in more students.
On that part, you understand?
Okay.
So, but for now, of course, we have situations where they have barely few numbers that come in and they were like, oh, I'm not going to school. And I don't want to even go to school at all. Right? No problem. And they come and they
I think it's because a lot of people don't know that this kind of opportunity exists.
Yes.
The more, this is the goal of a podcast like this.
Yeah,
podcast
so the
small
is
is not
key.
just it's not just a name. It's a way. We've all lived with the term small. From the days of you can't afford to buy a full cow pig milk tin full more, you can buy the sachet ones. That's if you can't afford to buy a bottled water, you can buy pure water. So we've always lived with the idea of small, bit by bit, right? Until you get to where the land of your dreamland or something like that, right? So something like this also, it's about awareness, where if you don't want to go to university, you have not committed any crime. As long as you are willing to pick up a skill, you're willing, and digital skills right now. We're in a digital world right now. I think it's one of the awareness we need to create, that you can acquire digital skills that can give you even quicker advancement in your career, or I don't know, or the best way to say that, it can give you speed,
Exactly.
pretty much. Yeah,
exactly.
So I would also like to know, so for the very rare situations of people that say come from like a secondary education level and want to enroll in Conclase Academy, is there an age requirement currently? Like, do you have an age requirement for anyone who wants to enroll? Maybe that is sort of also another reason why Conclase is not so fully. Of course, you said there are plans already for people that just want to come directly from the secondary level education into the tech world without going to like higher institutions. So I'm just wondering if say maybe the age criteria is also something that kind of affects the current choice.
Yeah. Okay. So the minimum age is 15 now. Yes. So that just answers what I said. You understand? I'm very big on. I understand we are looking towards all the things you mentioned. At the end of the day, we want it to be like a digital economy, right? And we know how best we can be able to make this work. But the approach can be the same, right? Even though we have it in plans, right? So for now, one situation where those that are coming in are a bit more matured, they can be able to get things running, So those are the things that we started with. But of course, like I mentioned, one of the things we need to do is be able to have like separate product, which we are working on behind the scene, but we've not launched yet. Of course, you'll be the first to hear. Where we were looking at university focus, even though we have a lot of them coming in, but this time we need to actually understand them, because we've gotten feedbacks. There are a lot of issues pertaining to timing of the classes, for example, because we do
for the people that are in university already,
instructor led. Because even though we have recorded classes that we share with them, but we made instructor led because it's not about just like Udemy, you learn and go. No, we want you to actually know these things. We want to nurture you. We want to monitor you. We need the best from you. We want you to be better. So we are very, very intentional about what we are doing.
I have a question.
You understand? So that's the essence, right? So we are open to, eventually at the end of the day, we'll be able to cater for every age, even old age or whatever. At the end of the day, we want to make it a digital economy. So not right now, the minimum is 15, and the intention is to get those that a bit more matured to be able to get things running.
I'll come and enroll my mom.
No problem. Of
Stop
course.
stressing me.
Of course.
Oh, that's a good one. Imagine us being able to enroll our parents to acquire digital skills, so that they'll be able to use WhatsApp better.
Yes, very important.
Yeah, even
the only thing they will not be using WhatsApp to do is message blasts. Take what do you call it?
Then she'll see
Broadcast. They see video of something. They will broadcast it.
Actually very.
But something I'm very, very interested in, and this has always pricked my mind for the longest, is we see a lot of Yahoo boys. And sometimes you wonder what has been the pathway for these guys. I think for a lot of these guys, for a lot of them, yes, they want the fast life, and because they want the fast life, they don't want to do the work, and doing the work means that they don't want anything that is very structured, like going to university or vocational skill. For some of them it's really about, but for a lot of them also it's just a thing of my options are limited. I can't go to university, or I don't want to go to university. And then instead of thinking of a digital skill that they can acquire and then go into the tech space and all of that, they choose Yahoo, because whether we like it or not, that also requires some level of digital skills. It might not, there are, from the things I've read, there is advanced Yahoo, there is the Yahoo Plus and all of this, right? So that requires different level of skills. But I think in this age and time, with the level of awareness we can bring or we can create into the digital space right now, the likes of CEO, where our current Minister of Digital Economy, am I correct? Mr. Bosun Tijani, that was a co-founder of CC and so many people have gone through CC digital training and all of that, and they are better off today. Even some of our unicorns, when you check their story, they all started from CC So with Conclase and the like of Talent QL and these other digital training or technology training schools coming into place right now, do we think that would create bridge that, or if you're thinking of Yahoo or then your other option, so that you don't get yourself in trouble where you end up in prison or your name is on EFCC, if when you are not necessarily looking for that fast life, you're willing to apply yourself to the small process, acquire skills, set yourself up for good, for a bright future, and you're able to, what role do you think this can play?
Well, to play a very big role. As I'm being very careful with how we'll be able to term, let's say, Nigerians and all, but we are very, very entrepreneurial. We are very energetic. We are very eager to do things.
And that also spirit.
The also spirit is there, and it's like that everywhere in the world. Anywhere I go to and I see Nigerians, I see how they do things. They do things differently. They have that, that energy. Like the energy is unmatched, and I think with this we can be able to support that energy on this. So humans, and let me just, maybe Nigerians, we like that fast life. And that's why Yahoo, I believe, really grew faster and people are still doing it. But people can say that. So the beauty about tech is it's not like a university, for example, where you have to wait till after you get a job. And to get a job is very difficult right now. Everyone is trying to run lean, and you have to have a skill. So back to this. So everybody is looking at, do you have a skill? If you have a skill, then they can be able to check your resume. If you don't have a skill, then it's nothing. So it's more than just the university now. What's the role that we will play, and what we are playing is we are trying to see whether we can minimize that madness in terms of Yahoo and all that. But we can assure you that, look, you just need 6 months to just focus. After that 6 months, we can guarantee you a job, and that job would start paying your bills.
That's a good one.
With more push from your side and support, you can, start getting your 6 digits figures and all that. So it's something that has happened. We've done this severally, and we've seen people. I'll just give like a very brief story. There is our first recruit. His name is Shego, and we placed him on a job, something very affordable and all that. Like, it was just kind of started a blockchain developer, and he started growing, and he worked with us for like 2 years. After 2 years, he started his own startup, and right now he is even funding companies.
Wow.
This within the space of 3 years, 4 years, not up to even 4 years. I started funding companies. And my last trip to Dubai, I went for a conference and all that. He paid for everything.
Wow.
So this is the kind of stories that
we can have a lot of stories like
so,
this.
so.
Dara, I have a question for you. A tech bro who is working, who maybe is just in the tech space, has the skill, the digital skills, only 3 years as a tech bro versus a Yahoo boy with GLE 450 or fancy car, nice house, or a tech bro, just 3 years in the tech space, whether he's a app builder or whatever it is, right? But he doesn't have a GLE, doesn't have a fancy house yet, but he's on the path to something. Which of the two will you date?
So of course, I mean, in regards to that, it's just very clear because he's
the
my
GLE
boss,
guy,
and
right?
also knows I myself, I have like a very good like work esteem. That's why I'm working myself. So I would even pick someone who is just 1 year into tech, definitely. So because we have to do things right, we have to make the country better.
Exactly.
So
what do you think what do you think in this age and time, a lot of our girls,
so definitely I feel like whoever is even planning to go for like someone who is into fraudulent activities should start to think about changing their minds. And if you're a guy, you're trying to get that babe on your side, now is the time, get yourself acquainted with.
We have a lot of them. Let them sign up. We have a lot of guys.
Skills and get started on an amazing changing experience. So like, I mean, our time is so fast spent, and I would like to say that I almost feel like a partner at Conclase right now.
Nice. You're ready.
Even though there are quite a number of other questions would possibly have, but because of our time, I'd just like to say we really appreciate you being here, and we hope when we call you back, hopefully soon, when Conclase is into more like expansion plans, we hope you're going to honor our invitation.
Yes,
again.
absolutely, I will. I really had a nice time.
So did you have a good time on our podcast?
Yes, have a good time. Just to before you go, so in case you have women that are looking for real guys doing legitimate things, we have a pool of them.
So Conclase is going to be like
in the community,
matchmaking community.
And it's free.
That's good. So please, I'll call all of them so they can invite me for weddings and we can buy Ashwebi for that. So
I think it's
really,
important
really
that we also
tell
where we plan to take these to.
Yes.
To the to our audience.
Yes.
The SmallSmall Podcast.
Oh yes, definitely.
So I think you should do it.
Yes. So I mean, SmallSmall Podcast. We plan to really expand on it. We already have lineup of like other guests from different payment structure, like small payment structure rather. Okay. So instrumental payments, that allow installments, payments,
education,
food, agriculture, travel, logistics.
Logistics.
So we definitely have them lined up, and I mean we're very glad that at least now more people would know. We get to know about Conclase, and yes, where can they find you on social media platforms?
Yes, they can find us on Twitter at Conclase HQ, Conclase HQ, and the academy is at Conclase Academy, Conclase and Academy, and we are on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
And that's very amazing. And also to add, I mean, we can't let the cat out of the bag, but obviously, like, something very amazing is coming as a result of SmallSmall Podcast, and you know, we'll be letting you guys in on that gist very, very soon. But just know that everything is all connected. We embody the small lifestyle, and we want to see our nation get better as a result of, you know, starting small and building your way up from there. So thank you very much for coming on our podcast.
Thank you.
We're very, very happy to have you, and my CEO gave me the vibes today. So again, I'm not the boss. I'm the host. So thank you so much, guys, for listening. Yeah,
I'm not the I'm the boss.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for listening to our podcast. We hope you've been able to enjoy this. I mean, we're going to pride ourselves as probably one of the best podcasts to come out of Nigeria, yes, because we're giving you tea, educative, fun, entertaining, and all of that. And we really hope to see as many people, you know, start off their journey. You know, Conclase is here for you. Reach out to them across all their social media platforms. Be very sure to check us out all across all social media platforms. It's SmallSmall Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And also, if you would love to own your own home, you know, and pay small, you can check us out at Buy Small. If you love to rent and pay monthly while you enjoy convenience, luxury, lifestyle, you know, all of that bit, check Rent Small, and of course check SmallSmall HQ on Instagram. So we cannot wait to see you on our next episode. Stay tuned. We have big names lined up for you. You are going to get everything. All sectors are set up for you, you know, to enjoy that payment structure that you hope for in order to be able to live your best life. So I am Dara. No, you can call me Dara. It's okay now. We're now familiar. We're acquainted. I'm going to see you in our next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.